for laptops, for this.
With the team, we were told that he did not meet team expectations. That's the quote that we were given. So 3 guards, 2 forwards, led by Devon Sadler. The head coach who made that decision not to bring Jarvis Threet on the trip even. In his 8th season, it's Monte Ross, former Phil Martelli disciple from St. Joe's, who won his 100th game at Delaware last Saturday, exactly a week ago. And as you can see on the screen, he's added 1 on to it. Meanwhile, for the Huskies, their starting 5 includes the nation's leader in double-doubles. That's the big man, Scott Etherton, transfer from St. Francis of Pennsylvania in his first year playing with the Huskies, and he's one of the best big men, perhaps, on the East Coast. Bill Cohen, just like Monte Ross, is in his 8th season at Northeastern, was an Al Skinner disciple at both Boston College and Rhode Island, before winning, as you can see, 116 games in his 8 years. Brian Oliver, let's take a look at today's keys to the game, which have changed a little bit because of the suspension of Jarvis Threet.
Well, obviously for Delaware, big guns got to score. This is a team that gets out, wants to go up pace. Love the up tempo. They're averaging 81 points a game. For Northeastern, they've got to dominate the paint. Talk about Etherton and what he does. I think Spencer has to come up big, and they've got to defend the 3-pointer. This is a Delaware team that shoots and makes an awful lot of threes. Northeastern has to do a better job at being able to defend the 3-point shot.
Delaware is the top scoring team in the league. They average 81 points a game. Matt Oblas, Alvin Cox, and Damon Williams are officials. And we're underway from Matthews Arena. Glad that you're with us. Should be a good one today here. CAA Saturday afternoon action. Zach Stahl is a man who made his first start of the season Wednesday night in a road win at James Madison. Stahl wearing number 33. Here's the big man, Etherton, showing us that he can shoot it from outside in addition to scoring in the perimeter.
Well, interesting to see how is Delaware going to be able to defend Etherton, because you know about him getting inside. Being able to step away definitely is going to create more opportunities for him later down low.
Davon Usher, transfer from Mississippi Valley State, missed his first shot of the game. And Northeastern, with a 2-0 lead, has its second possession. Demetrius Pollard, number 2, has picked up his scoring in CAA play. Now the big man, Reggie Spencer. Couldn't get the shot to drop over Marvin King Davis, who held his ground. And Delaware has the stop on Spencer's miss. Devon Sadler, his first shot drops in. Well, here's a guy who's scored over 1,900 career points.
And what we'll see is that he's going to get his opportunities in a lot of different ways in transition. You saw in the pick and roll. Northeastern got to do a better job of getting the ball out of his hands and not allowing him to be able to get going early.
After the David Walker miss, Sadler tries it again. Well, that one was well off to the right. Pollard on the drive, took it through the right baseline, and Zach Stahl attacks the rim. Another crack for Stahl, and he had it blocked going up. Kyle Anderson came to get a piece.
Great help by Anderson being able to come to weak side. I like the pace for Northeastern. They've got to come out and be really aggressive, and they've got to try to take it to Delaware and limit the opportunities for them to get in transition.
Nice hands by Zach Stahl overplaying that pass. One of the things that we think each of us thinks is the key to the game. Northeastern wants to play probably this game more in the 60s. Delaware would like the game up into the 80s.
Well, that's one of the things, too, with not having any 3. He's a guy that does so many different things for this Delaware squad. Interesting to see how do all the other guys, as far as Usher and Anderson, get involved with Sadler running the point.
Carl Baptiste working his way inside. Hustled it off and in, up and in off the glass.
Great shot by Baptiste. One of the best defenses against a guy that plays really well is to be able to go at him. You want to be able to make Etherton defend. You don't want to have him have so much energy to work on the inside on the other offensive end.
Baptiste is coming back from an ankle injury suffered a week ago. So Delaware has its first lead of the afternoon, and Etherton gets it on the right block. Working through a double team. And now it's Stahl slithering along the baseline and spun out. Well, Etherton, as he is wont to do, giving his team an extra possession. Reggie Spencer lost it on the way in. Fortunate bounce went right to Walker. Etherton through a double team. No matter. He's got his second hoop early on.
Great post-up by Etherton, being able to be patient. You saw the double by Delaware. They're going to have to come on him a lot earlier because Baptiste coming off of that injury with that ankle. Interesting to see how he's going to be able to handle the one-on-one matchup.
Northeastern had missed its previous 5 shots before Etherton makes. Score tied early on. And Anderson, the CAA's leading three-point shooter, misses from the top.
Important for Anderson to get a good start. As of late, has been struggling. This is a guy that leads the conference in three-point field goal percentage, only shooting 20% of the last 3 conference games. They want to get him to get some easy looks and get him started early.
Etherton. And now Demetrius Pollard. They're going to call the blocking foul, and Pollard gets a couple of shots. 16.5 minutes to go.
Well, Josh, Northeast doing a really good job of being able to spread the offense and get to the basket. I like the fact that they're taking their time, running their offensive sets, and taking what the defense is giving to them.
Let's take a look at the series history, which is close. You can see Delaware recently having an upper hand, including a win here in overtime last February. Delaware won at Matthews Arena, even though Northeastern won the regular season CAA championship last season. Pollard 1 out of 2. Baptiste, a transfer from St. Joe's, clears the glass. Perhaps not surprising that a St. Joe Hawk would come play for Monte Ross in Delaware. Monte was an assistant at St. Joe's under Phil Martelli for many years. Baptiste got fouled. They'll get Etherton on an early personal.
I like the fact that Delaware has come up and has given Baptiste a lot of offensive looks. This is a guy that doesn't get a lot of touches, but I like the fact that he's been able to face up and go one-on-one against Etherton. And you see Etherton not being able to get there, drawing that foul. That's a matchup that we may want to look at because they cannot afford to get Etherton in early foul trouble if they continue to give Baptiste touches.
You know, looking at that again, there wasn't a ton of contact.
But it's more of a bailout because he was falling. There was some.
Either had to call a foul or a travel. The officials chose the former. Northeastern by a point. Baptiste again going at the big man Etherton. Carl Baptiste has scored twice on the interior.
Baptiste showing early that he's not having any hangovers from that ankle injury a couple of games back. I like the fact that really aggressive, being able to put that big body and create some separation to get that early basket.
Reggie Spencer outside the foul line rattles out. And Baptiste controls, so Delaware has a 1-point lead and possession. The Blue Hens in the blue. From Newark, Delaware, Monte Ross's team, 3-0 in the conference coming into today. Baptiste again having his way on Scott Etherton inside.
Well, I think Monte Ross has come out with the idea that they're going to put a lot of pressure on Etherton, make him defend. Obviously putting a lot of pressure on that defense to force whether they're going to help or they're going to allow Baptiste to go for his.
Brian kind of flipping the script on us. We thought it would be Northeastern scoring inside.
Well, and I think the fact that they have come out with the approach, if they get Baptiste off and running, that puts an awful lot of opportunities for the three-point shot to come after that.
Pollard couldn't hit from the perimeter. And a nice save by King Davis. Delaware looking to extend a 3-point lead. Tavon Usher's cross-court pass almost went out of bounds. Up Baptiste again. He's 3 for 3. He's 4 for 4. What a start for the senior Carl Baptiste, and Delaware has a 5-point lead.
And Baptiste being able to show you that not only can he put the ball on the floor, can bounce away from the basket and knock down that mid-range jump shot. If you're Monte Ross, you have to be very excited about how your bigs have come out and been really aggressive.
Pollard another miss. Marvin King Davis. He cleared the glass. Baptiste, we mentioned, is 4 out of 4. He scored the last 8 Delaware points. Gone about 2 minutes here without a whistle. King Davis outside the foul line. And an early 7-point lead for the Blue Hens. And again, we're seeing all these big guys doing the scoring.
Well, we've highlighted Delaware being a team that depends an awful lot on their perimeter guys, but it's been their bigs that have come up early, have been very aggressive and been very productive.
They need this one to go, and it didn't come close from Zach Stahl, but Spencer saves the possession. That's going to be a blocking foul, and Spencer going to the line when we come back. Carl Baptiste, kind of a dream start for the redshirt senior from Pittstown, New Jersey. 4 field goals in the opening 4 minutes. Delaware by 7.
What is focus?
Be able to put the ball on the floor and knock down that jump shot. Baptiste has come out aggressive and has scored 8 of the last 12 for UD.
Marvin King Davis, their other starting big man, just picked up his second personal foul before the previous timeout. So King Davis has to go to the bench to be replaced by Devon Pinkert. Again, if you're just joining us, big news that broke right before the game is that Delaware's perhaps most valuable player, it's junior point guard Jarvis Threet, suspended for today's game. He's not even with the team. No matter for the Blue Hens early. And that shot comes up short for T.J. Williams, the freshman guard of Northeastern.
And very important for Northeast. Once the ball goes into Etherton and he kicks out on the double, someone's got to make a play because it makes it a lot easier for Delaware to defend them if they're going to double and get the ball and no one else can take advantage of the opportunities.
They look for the big man again, but that pass a little bit too tall. And over the hands for a turnover from Devon Sadler. Sadler's the one who's handling the point guard duties with Threet not here.
Well, and he's a guy that can play the point, but you still miss a lot as far as continuity and getting the other players involved because Threet is very good at being able to distribute and penetrate and find guys like Kyle Anderson.
Northeastern is 1 for its last 11, making 1 for 12. Devon Pinkert, freshman from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, able to clear the glass and a chance to extend this run. Overall, Northeastern is just 2 out of 13 from the field. Quick rise from Davon Usher. Missed the three-point shot. Usher very capable of hitting from beyond the arc, but not that time. About 4 minutes without a point for the Huskies. They look to snap that drought on this possession. We haven't seen a lot of touches, Brian, from the big man Etherton recently.
Well, the fact that Northeast is not a great three-point shooting team, and then as you see the nice basket from Walker, Delaware is doing a really good job of just sitting in the paint. And until Northeastern can actually knock down some outside shots, they're not a big threat.
Off the glass and in from the left side, Devon Sadler.
And that's one of the things that Sadler does extremely well. He can create for himself, has that burst of energy where he can get by his defender and finish. You would wonder that Northeast has to play a better defense and help and force him to kick that ball out.
Sadler actually had a month-long suspension earlier this his senior season. Etherton missed it inside, but right to Zach Stahl for the deuce.
Stahl being right there to pick up that offensive rebound. I think there's so much attention on Etherton. You have to be able to sneak in and get those easy, dirty plays. Good play by Stahl.
Zach Stahl had a 16-point game earlier this season against BU. That's the hand check on the perimeter going against Marco Benegas Flores. Timeout on the floor here in Boston. Delaware has a 5-point lead. Last year, big reason that Northeastern came out in first place last year was that man, Quincy Ford. Unfortunately, a guy who's expected, Brian, to be one of the best players in the conference this season, only got to play in 2 games. He had that back problem.
What are you talking about? They shut him down earlier because this was a guy that they were expecting a lot of big things. Unfortunate for Bill Cohen that they were not going to have him. But I think what has happened is that allows other guys to step up. And like you say, you want guys to be able to improve as you see them go to Baptiste again. I think that Monte Ross has committed to getting the ball inside and putting the onus on Northeastern to decide on how they're going to defend Baptiste in their interior game.
He is now 5 out of 5, 10 points and 5 rebounds. And we haven't even played 10 minutes. Delaware matches its largest lead of 7. T.J. Williams got fouled on the shot and a chance for a 3-point play for the freshman.
Great play by Williams being able to come off that curl. And a lot of times the defender has to step out. You see no one helping him being able to take advantage, grab the contact, and then finish. This is what Northeastern needs to do. They're not a great three-point shooting team. They need to space, get their guys to the basket, draw the fouls. And if you can put the big guys from Delaware in foul trouble, that makes it a lot easier for you. Great play by Williams.
You can see having a fine freshman season is T.J. Williams from Pflugerville, Texas. Northeastern, the way that Coach Cohen recruits, and actually really just to take a look at the entire student body, they don't have a lot of Massachusetts kids. They get them from all over the country. 4-point game. Northeastern's regular season conference title last year. It's first in quite some time. Coach Bill Cohen done a great job rebuilding a once proud program. You go back to the days in the 1980s when Jim Calhoun was the head coach. And Reggie Lewis was the standout star here on this court. That shot from Sadler too strong. And Northeastern with some momentum here, trying to get a little bit closer than 4 points.
Well, important for them to get stops, limiting Delaware to just one shot. I think that you have to find a way to get more offense with Etherton not in the game. Who's going to provide that spark for you offensively?
Chris Avenant, the only senior on the Northeastern roster, is on the court. He had the touch, wearing number 1 earlier in the possession. Shot clock creeps under 10. Walker finds Avenant, and a tough fadeaway is good.
Great patience on offense. Talked about the fact with no Etherton, you have to run your offense, make Delaware defend. Great play. I love the patience by Bill Cohen's team. Now, can they defend and get stops on the other end?
5 straight for the Huskies. That ends in the hands of Kyle Anderson. Anderson, the three-point sniper, gets his first one to drop in the game.
Well, Josh, one of the things that we talked about that makes this Delaware team so good is their ability to be able to knock down the three. I know they made the commitment early to Baptiste, but this is a team that shoots the three, making 8 a game.
And Anderson makes more than any player in the CAA. You mentioned earlier he's been in a shooting slump. I'm sure for Coach Ross, good to see him get one in early. Reggie Spencer. And now Pollard cutting underneath. Shot clock at 5. Demetrius Pollard.
Pollard being one of those guys, very streaky. They need him to step up big. This is a guy that's got points. If you can get him going, that makes it a lot easier in this game that's really, really close. I love the fact that Northeastern's been able to crawl back in here, and I think that the pace favors them right now.
And Sadler misconnects with Baptiste again. We've seen that a couple of times. When Jarvis Threet is normally throwing those entry passes, perhaps it's a different story.
Well, we talk about the last basket from Northeast, and you see the fact that they run that set. I love the fact that they're able to be get Pollard in position where he could take advantage of the opportunity. This game is slowed down. We talked earlier in the fact that Delaware wants to get up and down. I like the fact that Northeast is taking their time, running their set, and they're slowing the game down and making Delaware defend.
And the Huskies have made 5 of their last 6 shots. That's helped them get back in it after starting 2 out of 13. Spencer bobbled it, still has possession underneath. Spencer again, and he'll find his way to the foul line.
Well, Spencer's one of those guys, high energy, that will give you that second and third effort. Again, the discipline of Northeastern being able to run their set. You see Spencer be able to come over here, get that opportunity to get inside, and then the quick bounce for the second effort. I love the fact that Bill Cohen's team has gathered themselves. They're understanding that this is not going to be a track meet on their end. They have to be patient, have to be disciplined, and they have to win the war of attrition on the interior.
Reggie Spencer drops in his first free throw. Junior from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now it's a 1-point game. The foul was on Davon Usher. It was his first. Look at those offensive rebound numbers, Brian. You see 5-0. That gives you a lot of second chances.
And one of the things we did not speak about, in the 3 games that Delaware has won conference play, they have been down by double digits early in the first half. This is one of those things where defensive intensity, shot selection play a key part in it. And they went away from with no Baptiste in. Now those opportunities are a little hard to come by. I like Northeastern the fact that they are limiting Delaware to just that one shot and running their offense to precision.
Avenant on the perimeter. Chance to give Northeastern the lead here with a bucket. David Walker. Walker one-on-one with Kyle Anderson. Shot clock again under 10. Etherton on the driving runner. And a foul.
Great move by Etherton. I like the fact that he created that speed, that pick for him, giving them an opportunity to take the lead.
Big run for the Huskies, led by Scott Etherton's 3rd hoop of the game. Here comes the blocking foul.
Shoots an awful lot of threes at 35%. I like the fact also rebounding, that's really important. They have been playing really well. Important enough You talk about them not having their guy that leads them, Jarvis 3, who plays an integral part in that. And I think that what we're seeing today is that they're missing 3 because he is a guy not only on the offensive end that gives you those points, but he gets a lot of deflections, which allows them to be able to get out in transition. One of the things that we've seen now, Delaware has not been able to get those fast break points that they're accustomed to.
Etherton with his 7th point, leading a 3-point play, and it's a 10-0 run for Northeastern. So the Huskies lead it by 2, and this is Devon Sadler. A nifty move into the paint. Sadler able to hit. Boy, that guy can create offense.
Well, we talked about the fact that if you give him the ball, this is a guy that not only can penetrate and create, but I like the fact they ran a pick and roll for him, allowed him to isolate, give him the ball one-on-one, and then allow him to be able to do what he does.
Inside Etherton again. And he's got one-on-one coverage there. Freshman Devon Pinkard was on him and forced the turnover.
But one of the things that Etherton has to do a better job of is recognizing the double team and going away. He went that time towards the double. You'd like to see him to go back to the basket. He can get his opportunities, but he has to be careful of the turnovers.
That's the first turnover of the contest for Northeastern. Score side, Sadler doing his thing again. That time strong on the shot. Freshman T.J. Williams clears the rebound for the Huskies.
That last play, Sadler's a guy that can score, but you'd like for him to play the point guard position to be able to look to create more for his team, because if he's going one-on-one, that means the other guys are just sitting around watching.
Great anticipation. This is Davon Usher with a left hand after the steal. Usher up big.
Well, Usher very athletic. See that 6'6" frame, being able to get into the passing lanes. This guy that's known for being able to create his own shot, knock down the 3, but you saw a little bit of athleticism on display.
Oof. 6'6", 200-pound senior Usher finishing that above the rim, giving Delaware the lead back. Avenant, the senior, tied up. Sadler got his hands on the ball, and the arrow belongs to the Blue Hens. Let's take a look at that steal and dunk one more time.
We talked about Delaware and the fact that they want to get out and get those easy baskets, and you see Usher being able to get into it and finish. Nice little finish, showing off a little athleticism. Talk about getting in the passing lanes, and then when you get it like that, you want to get out and then send it home.
Native of Baltimore, Davon Usher. He's had an interesting journey to get here to Delaware. The officials are going to check something over at the scorer's table. It's a clock issue, we're told. Go back to Davon Usher, Brian. He started his career 2 years at junior college. Played last season at Mississippi Valley State. Scored about 19 points a game. And then he transferred this year. They allowed him to play immediately. Mississippi Valley State is ineligible for postseason play. They had an APR issue. So they let anybody who wanted to transfer leave without penalty. And here he comes to Delaware. And now he's one of the better guards in the CAA.
And it's paid dividends for this team. If you're Monte Ross, you have to love the fact that you've got a guy that's got length that can defend, can play the stretch 4 if you have to, because he can knock down the 3. I love the fact that he's a guy that's very athletic, create his own shot. And for this team that depends on trying to get out in transition, a very good defensive player in the perimeter.
Had an issue with one of the shot clocks. Shot clock behind the basket at which Delaware is shooting malfunctioned, but they've gotten that cleared away. And it's going to be the Blue Hens' ball.
As Delaware was able to come out and get that turnover. I'd like to see Northeastern open the floor a little bit more with their sets. It seems like they're standing on top of each other, and that allows Delaware to sit in the paint on them. You want to be able to spread them out, get those back cuts, and get your guys open.
Sadler again right to the rack, and Etherton was there to deny him in the paint. Blue Hens able to keep it. And a 3 by Usher. Northeastern dodges that bullet. A couple of misses on the possession for the Blue Hens. Been a game of runs. Delaware had the early lead. Northeastern came back at them. Right now, Delaware has taken the advantage back. Zach Stahl, and now Etherton. Double team, 30 feet from the basket. This time Northeastern keeps it with 9 on the shot clock on the held ball.
Where you see the guards from Delaware understanding that they've got Etherton away from the basket. Anytime you got a big with the ball in the hand, you want to be aggressive and try to get that ball out of your hands. I think Northeastern has to do a better job of being able to set those picks and then being able to get the ball inside to Etherton and allow him to work out.
Boy, they swarmed Etherton. You're right. When he was out there at the top of the key.
But I still think that the pace still favors Northeastern. They want to shut it down. We're talking 23-23 with less than 5 minutes left to go. David Walker knocks down that shot. You'd like to see a little bit more production from him on the offensive end.
His second field goal. Walker, the sophomore, is the second leading scorer this season for Northeastern. 4.5 minutes remaining in the opening half. Anderson, one dribble and a deep two, hit nothing.
Great defense by Walker. With a guy like Anderson that shoots the three the way he does, you want to chase him off of that three. I thought Walker did a great job of being able to follow him around that screen and then chase him off of that three. Anderson is a guy that wants to be able to set and shoot. Great defense by Walker.
He actually made him take a dribble inside the arc for that shot.
Well, him being 6'6" doesn't help. It doesn't hurt either.
No.
Allowing him to be able to get a hand up.
Northeastern a chance to recapture the lead. Walker, among the nation's leaders in minutes played this year, is the sophomore point guard Walker. Made the extra pass to Demetrius Pollard, a tough two. Right back to him, and Baptiste erases the shot. So Pollard a couple of misses, and Delaware has it back.
Josh, how big has Baptiste been in this first half on both ends of the floor? Talk about him early, get going offensively, being able to come up that block and then dominate the paint. I think you have to give the edge to Baptiste between the two big men, between he and Etherton. Has definitely made his presence known early in the first half.
This has really been the matchup. Baptiste against Etherton. And that time Etherton forced him to travel. Timeout. Close game, can't be any closer. We're tied. 3.5 minutes to go beforehand. All three of their wins, they trailed by double figures in the first half. So, hey, this should be comfortable for them, even though they're not down. They're tied early. I guess they've kind of exceeded expectations for the opening 20 minutes.
But one of the things that they've depended on in the past to be able to get back into these games is to be able to use their defensive pressure to get out and get easy baskets. That's something that we're not seeing in the first half, not at 23. And I like the fact that for Northeastern, they have done a really good job on second chance points, coming up with 6. But do you still give the edge to Delaware right now with 12 inside points versus 6 for Northeastern?
It is the big guys leading the way for each side. Baptiste, 10 for the Blue Hens. Etherton, 7 for the Huskies. Meanwhile, Usher had it blocked right at the rim by Etherton. That springs Demetrius Pollard, and right back at you, says Kyle Anderson. Stahl missed the putback. A third chance. It's Spencer. Northeastern's going to have a fourth opportunity on this possession alone.
Give the edge to Northeastern. I like the fact that not only did they come up with the big block, but then they continue to crash the boards. That's where they're being able to get the second chance opportunities.
Stahl tries it again and earns his way to the line. A couple of really good blocks in that last sequence.
Well, we knew that this was going to be a game where Northeastern had to be able to dominate the paint. You see Etherton come up with the big block. And then afterwards, you see the opportunity. How about Kyle Anderson going up high to be able to block that shot? Talk about intensity earlier in January. Both teams coming out realize the importance of this game.
Kyle Anderson listed at 6 feet 2 inches. Played a little bigger than that on that block shot. Zach Stahl gives Northeastern the lead back. Monte Ross in his 8th season at Delaware. And perhaps this year, Brian, his best chance at winning a CAA championship.
Well, I think with the team that they have, inside and out, obviously they'll get Jarvis Street back. But I like the fact that this is a team that has not only met expectations, but exceeded them. But I think for both teams, what's really helped them in conference play is that if you look at both of the non-conference schedules and the teams that they have played, gives them a great opportunity to prepare for conference play.
The pass got tipped out of bounds. Northeastern played one of the most difficult non-conference schedules nationally. They lost 9 of their final 10, but they weren't exactly playing the Sisters of the Poor either.
Well, and what you find out is that a lot of conferences will go far and beyond to make sure that that non-conference is a lot better, because you want to have the strength of schedule and you want the conference to get the recognition for playing against some of the better competitions, and both teams have done that early on.
They've had a combined 11 consecutive missed field goals. 6 for Northeastern. And that, a foul on the hand check there against Sadler to 1-1.
Again, the discipline from Northeastern, being able to run their offense. I said they've done a better job with their spacing. We talked earlier that we knew coming into this game that Etherton was their go-to guy, but who would be the person that would stand up? And it seems like it's been collectively that you've had guys being able to come up big, make big plays, drawing the foul and getting into the bonus early has been a big key for them as well.
Demetrius Pollard with his 4th point of the game. Another 1-for-2 trip, second time he's done that in the half. Davon Usher able to grab the rebound. As you can see, Delaware has yet to attempt a free throw. They trail by 3. Held ball call. Blue Hens have the possession arrow.
But great defense by Northeastern being able to help out. You see the penetration by Sadler. And then you see the defensive player being able to come over and tie up the ball. I like the fact that they're sitting and they're helping. One of the things without Freak is that Sadler's doing a little bit more one-on-one, and I think that has stymied the offense for Delaware because the other guys are watching.
It was Zach Stahl who made the defensive play to get the help ball. Delaware with 12 to shoot. This is Casman Hayes. Seldom used freshman missed his first shot. Northeastern can extend this 3-point lead here as we approach 1 minute remaining in the half. It's a David Walker 3. 10th offensive rebound of the opening half for Northeastern, and Reggie Spencer gets some free throws.
Well, we talked about the fact that Spencer has been that guy, the high energy guy, and in this first half, Northeastern has done a really good job of being able to get offensive rebounds, and they put Delaware on their heels. It seems like Delaware is settling for just a 3-point shot. They've gone away from dominating inside with Batiste, but I like the fact that they have been really resilient in running their half-court offense.
6th straight point for Northeastern, and their lead is 4. Reggie Spencer, a glue guy, makes them both. One of the better rebounders in the CAA is Spencer, even though he's a little bit undersized to be doing so. 6'7", 210. 5-point lead, a minute left in the half. You can see that Delaware scoring drought. And it went a Baptiste dunk.
Nice drop off by Sadler, realizing that the defender was showing out. I like the fact that being able to get the ball back into Baptiste. This is where they've been really consistent in being able to score inside. I like the fact that they can get the ball in Baptiste. That's going to create 3-point opportunities later.
Pollard on the answer. Demetrius Pollard able to get to the rim.
Pollard turning the corner, being able to have the step. Love that fact, being able to get to the basket. Big play by Pollard. Extend that lead to 5.
This is what they call use it or lose it timeout taken by Bill Cohen. So a 30-second timeout. Let's take a look at the 6th field goal of the half for Carl Baptiste.
Well, you see that nice play by Baptiste being able to get to the basket. I like that, but then on the other end, how about Pollard turn the corner?
Not by Northeastern, and it's going to be the shot clock turned off here for the Blue Hens. Monte Ross made that decision to suspend his starting point guard after he had earlier this year for a month suspended his captain, Devon Sadler. And I think, Brian, we each agree that says something about the kind of program that Coach Ross runs.
Well, it says an awful lot because you're looking for a team that's, going on the road, and he could easily say, hey, we'll handle this in-house and we'll allow him to play. It says an awful lot about the program that Monte Ross is trying to run.
A chance for Sadler with the game clock under 5. Devon Sadler hits, and that makes it a 3-point deficit for the Blue Hens.
Great finish by Devon Sadler, being able to turn the corner, chip into that lead, but you have to give it advantage to Northeast and being able to win that war of attrition we talked about going to the half with that 3-point lead.
Sadler with his 8th.
There's no end to the classic gems and quirky delights you'll find in Baltimore.
Aggressive. I like the fact that he was aggressive and very efficient for Delaware, coming up big for them early.
Meanwhile, Brian, as we revisit your keys to the game early, it looks like Northeastern is doing exactly what we thought they had to do to be competitive.
And they've done a really good job dominating the paint. We talk about the second chance points. I love the fact that they've done a really good job of defending the 3 and limiting Delaware. And, you know, they've done a really good job of being able to hold the pace down. Delaware only 27 points in the first half.
How much do you think Delaware is missing its normal point guard, Jarvis 3?
I think more than anyone would imagine because he does so much for them.
Etherton missed it in close. Boy, that was a good look to open the half, and he just couldn't finish.
Well, if you're Etherton, I know you want that back because I think that was a great opportunity. He hasn't gotten a lot of clean looks. Probably the cleanest he's gotten all game.
He's now 3 out of 6, and the Blue Hens have their first possession of the second half. Davon Usher up and under and off the glass.
When we talk about this is a Delaware team in the 3 games that they have won, they have fallen by as much as double digits in the first half. Interesting to see how they come out with their approach the first 5 minutes of the second half. If they've got more energy and they look to turn it up.
Usher was only 1 out of 6 shooting the ball in the opening half. Right back to Etherton. Well, he wasn't going to miss a layup for a second straight possession, Brian.
Well, I think that's where Etherton has the advantage. He can't bang with Baptiste. He's got to be able to get away and use his quickness and go by him. And I think that they should run more plays where they're allowing him to go one-on-one and put the ball on the floor.
His 9th point. Sadler finds Baptiste, and he is 7 out of 7.
Well, Baptiste has come up really big. When you talk about a guy that's stepped up, we were curious who's going to step up in Threet's absence, and it's been Baptiste and him being able to finish.
Reggie Spencer on the fadeaway from the left baseline. Spencer hits his first field goal. Back to the halftime margin, a 3-point lead. And Usher unable to answer. Northeastern looking for its largest lead of the day. David Walker met some resistance in there. Sadler right to the rim for 2.
And that's where Sadler's at his most dangerous because you get him in open transition, being able to go one-on-one. Very hard for the defender. Like the fact for him to be able to finish that play.
You know, you look at it, Sadler is a second half player. He really steps his game up when the game matters most.
And I think that this pace early in the second half favoring Delaware because we talk about the fact that they want to be able to get up and down. They want this pace to get up, and I'm sure that Monte Ross told his guys, let's get out, let's push it, even after the makes.
And it's not unfamiliar territory for Delaware to be trailing at halftime. They've trailed at halftime in all 3 of their conference games and then come back to win each time. King Davis unable to hit. So I guess I'm saying they're comfortable playing from behind.
I think Northeastern has to be careful. They don't want to get up and down. I thought that one of the things for them that really helped them is they were a little bit more patient. You see Walker be able to knock down that jump shot, running their offense, allowing the opportunities to come because you don't want to get into an up and down match with Delaware because that favors them.
You don't see a ton of 6'6" point guards like David Walker. He can really shoot over the top of pretty much, I would think, anybody that's guarding him.
Well, and I think that he's still trying to find himself as far as being a scorer. Last year, with the team they had, he had to be more of a distributor. Obviously, with not having Ford around, they're asking him to be a little bit more conscious of scoring.
Sadler to King Davis, and they'll make him earn it at the line. Etherton picks up the foul.
One of the things about Sadler is that not only is he a really good scorer, but you can see at will being able to get into the lane. I like the dump over to King Davis. That's going to give him an opportunity to be able to score. You see the help, great recognition. Sadler going over and passing that ball to King Davis. Now let's see if the other guys can get involved. We've seen that Sadler has been able to do a really good job in the first half of creating for himself. Can he create for his teammates and get them more involved?
This man, Marvin King Davis, was saddled with 3 fouls for most of the first half and has only 2 points. Meanwhile, that was the second foul in the game against Scott Etherton.
You talked about King Davis getting in early foul trouble. I thought that changed the dynamic of the first half, allowing Northeastern to defend and actually dominate the paint a little bit more. As you see Etherton go out, it seemed like he got hit there.
Look at that. He lost a tooth, I think. Or nearly lost all of it. Give us a smile here, Scott. Oh, yeah.
You see that, I remember playing and always having a mouthpiece because, you know, I'm a guy that's fond of my fronts. So, see the replay. You see Etherton come over. You see the elbow by King Davis. That's a big guy to take a blow from.
Well, they'll try to patch that up. Northeastern could certainly use Etherton back in the game as quickly as possible. Leading by 1 are the Huskies as Pollard misses the 3. And Spencer running into the back of Davon Usher picks up the foul.
Again, talking about this pace, it just seems like Delaware is starting to hurry Northeastern up a little bit. You see the rush shots, long rebounds allows Delaware to be able to get out. I think this by design by Monte Ross. They're trying to quicken this pace, understanding that 27 points and a half does not bode well for them in what they're trying to do.
Just looking over at Etherton on the bench. Doesn't he kind of look like a hockey player there with the bloody mouth?
Well, man, a city that's rich in hockey, I mean, he plays really aggressive. See, Usher being able to come up with a nice little finish. They're going to take him back to the locker room to work on him and hopefully get him back into the game.
Meanwhile, Usher gives Delaware its first lead of the second half. Good start for Monte Ross's team coming out of the locker room. Stahl on the other end.
Great aggressive move by Stahl being able to attack the rim. Baptiste not being able to get over. And you're basically looking at Delaware with 3 guards and Baptiste. Nice attack.
Meanwhile, you took a look at Scott Etherton walking towards his own locker room. May need a little dental work, Brian. Delaware shot clock at 11. Anderson only hit the backboard. An ugly looking shot. Well defended by the Huskies.
Great defense by Ford. Talked about you got to chase a guy like Anderson off that 3-point line. You don't want him to get a clean look.
Spencer for 2. It came up short. There's Carl Baptiste. He gets the rebound, and Sadler inside the paint. And you can see Devon Sadler, one of the nation's leading active scorers, really picking up his game.
Well, taking advantage of the one-on-one. Like we talked about the fact that he can get to the lane whenever he wants, being able to finish. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense with his ability to be able to cut through the lane and finish.
Pollard had it blocked by Anderson. 1-on-2. Here goes Usher. And he'll find himself at the foul line when we come back. Pace picking up. That favors the Blue Hens. Delaware has taken the lead.
And just looking at it, seems like that either he's in the verge of losing a tooth and going back, wondering how long will he be out and how will it affect that run. So much of what Northeastern's been able to do means on him being able to come back out early.
Folks, the final 15 minutes presented by Geico, where 15 minutes makes all the difference. Well, if he didn't lose the tooth yet, I think he's going too soon. It wasn't hanging on by much.
So I'm just curious, what's the going rate for the tooth fairy these days by putting it under your pillow?
I think since we had the tooth fairy visit us, the inflation would have created a nice increase for Scott Evans.
I'm showing my age, so probably when I was a kid, it was probably 50 cents to $1. Now I'm thinking with the inflation, it's probably up to about $5 to $10 a tooth.
Does that include dentist fees? Delaware, after 1 out of 2 free throws from Usher, leads by 2. And the question is now with Etherton out of the game, where does Northeastern go for offensive answers?
And as you see Usher come up with the steal.
They'll call Walker on the foul. Davon Usher in the open court again.
Well, and I think that early in the first half, Northeastern had a great game plan being disciplined. But right now, you see Usher being able to get in that passing lane and get out in transition. I've said it before. I think that in the second half that Delaware has done a remarkable job of trying to up this pace. Definitely didn't pay dividends for them. As you see Etherton come back on the bench, you see Bill Cohen said, hey, I definitely need you to get back in because things are not in our favor now.
Davon Usher. A smooth-looking left-handed three-point jump shot. Delaware has a 5-point lead.
See, Usher has come back out being more aggressive, realizing that he's got to give Sadler some help.
Usher really picking up the pace in the early portion of the second half. 7 straight points for the Blue Hens. Stahl had it knocked out of bounds. Shot clock under 15. Those are the guys, both Usher and Devon Sadler, who are the big second half scorers for Delaware. Here's good news for Husky fans.
Well, interesting to see also, once Etherton comes back into the game, Monte Ross decides to come back with Baptiste. I think his best option in being able to defend and go against Etherton, giving Baptiste a few minutes rest.
Walker to Etherton. Right as the shot clock buzzer sounded. Welcome back into the game, Scott Etherton.
How about stepping up? Etherton being out, coming out, knocking down that three to silence that Delaware run. Delaware seemed like they were getting to the point where they were building some momentum. Great step out three.
Usher answers on the other end.
Curious what Monte Ross said to Davon Usher in the second half, because he's come out with a lot of aggression. He's seeing it on the defensive end and looking for a shot.
11 points in the half for the senior Davon Usher. Blue Hens back by 5. Freshman T.J. Williams on the baseline. Oh, how did that pass get to Spencer? It did, and a basket and a foul.
Spencer being at the right place at the right time. T.J. Williams seemed like he didn't have any place to go, and being able to get it over. Spencer's that guy that just kind of hangs out and waits for the opportunity. Talking about Etherton coming in right at the buzzer, hand in his face, knocking down that three. Looks over at the ref and say, hey, almost knocked my other tooth out. But I like the fact, since Etherton has come in, them being able to pick up the pace right now. But I still think that early in the second half that the up and down for Delaware has paid in their advantage right now. Northeastern has to get back where they've got to get a few stops and slow them down.
Baptiste. The setup from Devon Sadler.
I like the recognition by Sadler and the fact that he's realizing that once he gets into that lane, he's drawing guys, and the guy that's been able to benefit from that most is Baptiste, being able to finish with left and right around the rim.
And even without its normal point guard Jarvis 3 playing, now we're starting to see why Delaware is such a high-scoring offense. 81 points a game coming into today. Meanwhile, the foul against the Blue Hens on the other end is not shooting. At Delaware, they can score with the best of the teams in the CAA.
Guys that can score the way Sadler does. I talked about the fact that he puts so much pressure on the defense for being able to score, but then you see his ability to be able to make that drop off also.
That was the third foul on Anderson, so he went to the bench. Etherton to miss, but Johnny on the spot is Zach Stahl.
Like Stahl being able to come up with that basket, because you saw Etherton being doubled. A lot of times you've got to have your other guys not willing to just stand around and watch. You saw Stahl being able to crash the board and put back in.
And you see those second chance points, although that was the first offensive rebound this half for Northeastern. Brings the Huskies back within 3. Usher again. Northeastern will have it when we come back. Well, he doesn't have all his teeth right now, Brian, but it's not bothering Mr. Etherton. Close game, second half.
Alex Ovechkin. Mike Green.
Game over, Green.
Nicholas Backstrom.
First half, only 2 points. 11 points in the second half early. Great start for the second half for Davon Usher.
Delaware as a team, 8 of 11 shooting the ball this half. That's 73%. But Northeastern still within 1 possession. Went backdoor there to Etherton, who goes to the foul line after that.
Well, I like the fact that they came out of the timeout with a set play, being able to get Etherton into it. I think that if they're going to make this run and chip into the lead, they have to go to their horse. Etherton is the guy that when he's been able to get away from the basket and put the ball on the floor has created more problems for Baptiste. Trying to put the ball inside and have him bang has not been beneficial.
Etherton leads the country in double-doubles. He had 14 over the team's first 18 games. You can see he needs 5 more rebounds to get another one today, and can add one onto it right there.
Well, I think the fact that he's so long and athletic, he's always around the back. He's got a great knack for going to the ball, and he crashes on both ends.
Chance to tie it with a 2. 11 minutes remaining in the second half. Devon Pinkert, a freshman in the game for Delaware, guarding Demetrius Pollard. Fouled is Williams. TJ Williams on the way in. That's a two-shot foul.
Williams doing a really good job of coming off of that pick. Just a lot of times when you get a guy and you've got the defender trailing, being able to absorb that contact, and I think once you absorb it, throw it up at the rim, gives him an opportunity to go to the line.
Williams able to hit the first. Brian, that's now 16 free throw attempts for Northeastern, 4 for Delaware.
Well, and I think it's the fact that they have been so aggressive. We talked about the second chance opportunities and the fact that they have been relentless in crashing the boards. They have put a lot of pressure on Delaware. Delaware has been able to finish in the second half, not going inside as much and not drawing a lot of fouls.
Tie game with 10.5 minutes remaining as Pollard knocks the ball out of bounds. Each of these teams no stranger to playing a close game. Northeastern has played and lost about as many close games as anybody you'll find in the country. Sadler looking for Baptiste. And his perfect day continues. 9 of 9 for the senior.
And that 9 field goals has not been just him shooting regular layups. We talked about him stepping away from it. Baptiste has put his offensive repertoire on display today, being able to finish in a lot of different ways.
Pollard the miss. Devon Pinkert had the rebounds. Nice catch, King Davis. Pass off the hands of Pinkert, and Northeastern coming back, trailing by 2. Walker for 3. And the lead for the Huskies. David Walker hits from the perimeter.
Well, you saw an Etherton pass up, realizing that Walker had Baptiste out on him. This has been a game of runs.
You can see just the second three-point make today for Northeastern. Right back at it, Davon Usher again.
Usher being able to slice. I think Baptiste created a little bit of a wall for him down low, being able to allow him to get right down to the basket easily, untouched.
Etherton one-on-one with Baptiste. Left-handed for Scott Etherton.
I think Etherton is at his best when he can face up against Baptiste, absorb that contact and try to get by him. I like the fact that he's being more aggressive and they're looking to get him the rock.
15 points for Etherton. Baptiste has a career-high 18 points. On the other side, Sadler slicing through. Delaware by 1.
How good is Kevin Sadler? You saw TJ Williams pass under the screen thinking he had him. Sadler still being able to come up and finish and get that basket.
Delaware foul on the other end is going to go against Baptiste.
Talk about Etherton being able to do a good job of facing up against Baptiste. I like the fact that he sized him up, realizing to get the step and the ability to finish with the left. It's a guy you talk about that can give it to you in a lot of different ways.
Brian, we've had 13 lead changes this afternoon. Already 7 of them here in the second half. Back and forth we go, riding the seesaw. Etherton missed. Zach Stahl gets another possession. Walker takes advantage with his second straight hoop.
But that play was set up with Walker being able to knock down the 3, making the defense realize they've got to honor that 3-point shot. Love the fact, nice ball fake, being able to get in. We talked about him being 6'6" and being able to finish at the rim.
Well, make that 8 lead changes this half. Anderson for 3. Kyle Anderson gives the Blue Hens back the lead, and a timeout taken by his coach, Monte Ross. Delaware by 2. Unable to close a lot of close ones, Brian Oliver. They have a 5-13 record, but boy, just a bounce here, a shot there, and it could be very different looking. Look at that stat.
Well, and one of the things about this Northeastern team, too, is that when you get to the gut of the game where normally free throws come into play, this is a team that only shoots 63%. Normally when you get to the end of the game, it's about being able to get stops, but also being able to knock down free throws at the gut of the game, something that they have come up short in some of those games.
Delaware called the timeout after Anderson's 3. So Northeastern in possession and a foul. They might have gotten Baptiste. Nope. Davon Usher. So Northeastern has it still under 8 minutes remaining. 2-point deficit.
And a lot easier, not only for him, but also for his teammates as of late. 14 points, and you see what's more impressive, the 6 assists.
He has not missed a shot this half. 3 out of 3 is Sadler. Etherton. A stop for the Blue Hens. Delaware a chance to increase a 2-point lead. Zone defense here from Northeastern, Brian.
Curious on when they were going to come out with that, because they have not been able to hold Devin Sadler in front of them.
Usher, the 3-point miss. He's been hot all half, not that time. The zone works for Coach Bill Cohen. It's a good way if the other team's been able to really hit a lot of outside shots to neutralize it.
Well, and a lot of that has come from the penetration of Sadler breaking down his man. I think you go to the zone to be able to contain him and then play a little bit more help, understanding to get out at those shooters when the ball gets kicked out to him.
Under 7 minutes remaining in the second half at Matthews Arena. Nice pass underneath Usher. Kick to the corner. And the 3 by Anderson would go.
That zone is paid off, because normally you give Kyle Anderson a look uncontested, and that is money. But Northeastern's done a really good job of being able to limit it, as you see Baptiste come up with another block.
Carl Baptiste, if you're just turning the game on, he's 9 for 9 from the field, a career high 18 points.
And Baptiste has had a career day on both ends of the floor, noticeably offensively, but he's done a really good job controlling the paint and the boards.
He's a fifth-year senior from New Jersey, transferred to Delaware from St. Joe's. And Sadler, they say, got a piece of Walker's arm on that shot. 3 free throws for the Huskies.
Can't be happy if you're Monte Ross, because you want your guys to defend, especially a guy that's not a great three-point shooter. You see the kick out, and then Sadler go in, definitely get a piece of the arm.
Right across the elbow.
You always tell guys you jump at, but you don't foul the three-point shooter. I think Sadler realizing that he made a mistake right there, but for as well as he has played this game, definitely telling Coach, hey, my bad, I'll get that one back.
Meanwhile, they're going to make sure that Walker's feet were behind the three-point line. That's what the referees are taking a look at here. Looks pretty clear that he was. Good step behind the stripe there, so it should be 3 free throws. Matt Oblas, our head referee today, confirms.
You see as Walker goes to the line, be able to chip into that lead and maybe take the lead. Very impressive with Northeastern coming into this game. We asked the question, with Scott Etherton being the guy that dominates the way he does, who is going to step up for them? And I think that what you found is that it's been by committee. They have done a really good job on the defensive end and guys being able to come up big. See the numbers on Walker, 11 points, 4 assists.
Misses the first of the 3. This guy 5th in the nation in minutes played. He is indispensable for Coach Cohen's team. 37 minutes a game he's on the court. Now the best he can do is make 1 of 3. Northeastern last season had a couple of terrific senior guards, Joel Smith and Jonathan Lee. And Walker played alongside of them as a freshman. Where those guys graduated, Walker's really had to pick up his offense.
Well, and I think that he's getting to the point where when you're playing against top-notch competition, it allows you to get better, and I think that that's what you're going to see as the season progresses. Walker's numbers are going to increase because he's gotten better and better with every day.
Blue Hens turn it over. Let's take one more look at that. Delaware didn't agree.
Well, you see Usher going out and not knowing, basically, see Davon Usher saying they went off of Spencer, but I think it may have just been him losing the basketball.
Spencer inside. Baptiste came to help. I think Baptiste got a piece of the shot. And on the other end, it's Etherton erasing Davon Usher. Pollard on the break. Baptiste sends him to the line. Almost got the clean block.
Well, you see the great action by both bigs on each team. First when Etherton coming up with the block, and then Baptiste being able to go back. And you see the hustle played by Baptiste, not giving up an easy basket. And I think you see on the other end, Etherton being able to swat that away from Usher. If you're both coaches, you have to love the play from your big guys. You see Baptiste not giving that easy basket up.
First free throw went in there for Demetrius Pollard. His first points of the second half. And taking a look at a couple of those replays, it did look like there was body contact there. Baptiste just got his third foul. I think the block was clean, but the push with the body is what they called.
Well, and the important thing with Baptiste getting his third foul, keep an eye on that because he has been their inside presence for Delaware. You don't want to see him get his fourth foul if you're Monte Ross, because he has been the guy that has made it a lot easier for your offensive guys on the outside.
Devon Pinkert, the freshman, missed. Baptiste fighting inside, and he'll go to the line.
And he has been a beast the entire game. I love the fact that he's been relentless around the boards. Talk about the fact that he's been able to finish, but how about coming up, getting the opportunity, and being strong with that ball. Sadler has done a remarkable job of being able to create, but I think that the MVP up to now for Delaware has been Baptiste. You see 9 for 9, 18 points and those 7 boards. And it's just been his interior presence and being so aggressive that's paid dividends for Delaware.
Meanwhile, that was the third foul on Scott Etherton. So now Baptiste, who just missed his first shot of any variety today, trying to tie. Point number 19 for the redshirt senior, and we're knotted at 58. Terrific CAA contest today from Matthews Arena in Boston. Walker for the lead. Good look, just a little bit short. And here's Devon Sadler, the senior captain of the Blue Hens. 3-point shot. Oh, Devon Sadler, this is his time of the game. Blue Hens take a 3-point advantage.
David Walker not realizing you're playing one of the top scorers in CAA history. You can't pass underneath on him, giving him an opportunity to knock down that 3.
Walker knocked to the ground and fouled on the other end by Pinkert. An aggressive take.
Well, you see Walker being able to go to the basket. Love his aggression, and Pinkert come over with the foul. Talk about his progression as a scorer. This is a guy that looks to pass first, but I like his aggression and being able to understand that he has to be able to give his team some more offense. Struggling at the foul line, missing his last 3 or 4.
Northeastern leaving a lot of points at the foul line. There's one. David Walker. It's a 2-point deficit. Walker now with 12. And a steal by Stahl. Took it away from Sadler. Zach Stahl. The steal and breakaway ties the score at 61.
Stahl doing a great job of realizing that when Sadler comes off that pick and roll looking to get to the basket, Sadler did not realize that he came weak side, being in the right place, coming with that steal, knotting this game up with 4 minutes left to go.
Official Alvin Cox blows a whistle. Shot clock on the hoop at the other side of the court had gone dead. You can see there, in fact, shot and game clock with a power problem. Well, let's take a look at Zach Stahl.
See Stahl being a great help side defense, being there, coming up with that finish. And Northeast has done a really good job of being able to sit in the paint. Coming up with that steal. Great help side defense. With a guy like Sadler, you have to play good team defense. Stahl being at the right place, coming up with that finish.
It's a busy weekend here at Matthews Arena, which is also the hockey home for the Northeastern teams. In fact, they had a hockey game last night that ended about 9:30. Then they had this tip-off here today at noon that they had to get the court ready for. There'll be another hockey game after us later tonight.
Well, I hate to be the guys that crew that has to take the floor down, put it back up, and then do it again. Definitely getting their money's worth today.
I guess perhaps making it understandable we'd have some technical issues over there with that shot clock. Hey fans, 9 teams, 8 games, 4 days, 1 champion. March Madness begins in Baltimore this year. Visit CAAsports.com for ticket and travel information for the 2014 CAA Men's Basketball Championship. And it looks like this is going to be a wide open conference. Delaware was picked 4th out of the 9 teams in the preseason poll, Brian, but with a 3-0 start in the league, you'd have to say that they're, if not the, certainly one of the favorites at this juncture.
Well, definitely Delaware, another team. Towson is another team. And then you got to look at College of Charleston, their first year in the league. And like you said, this is going to be wide open. I think with the 9 teams, conference play is always the most important part, and a lot of teams play that non-conference to get to that point because you want to be clicking on all cylinders. The best thing is to win at home, but also to be able to steal a few on the road.
Northeastern, which was the regular season champion last year and lost ultimately in the championship game of the tournament. They were picked 6th in the preseason poll this year. Bill Cohen's team rebuilding. Still working on that issue with the shot clock. And what they're going to have to do, unable to fix the shot clock, they're going to move the clock to the ground, we're being told. So at least the players for Northeastern, that's the end they're shooting, at least they'll have a look at a shot clock. It'll be on the ground instead of above the top of the cylinder. It's a tough time too, Brian, for a 2 or 3 minute delay.
Well, especially if you're getting on a nice little run. You know, Northeastern being able to come up with that steal. I think that if anything, you want to keep playing, to keep rolling. But we've had a great game here. It's been a game of runs. We talked about Northeastern being able to go into the half up, then Delaware coming out strong and pushing it. Only have Northeastern be able to have Etherton come back in and some other guys step up. So it's been a game of back and forth.
Monte Ross in his 8th season as the head coach at Delaware. Bill Cohen in his 8th season as well. You look at what the CAA landscape appears as we look at it early in January.
Well, obviously, we talked about Delaware and the fact that they're 3-0 in the league, 5-game winning streak. Towson's another one of those teams right there, off to a 2-0, 11-6 overall. They're winners of 4 in a row as well. And I think that as the conference play gets later on into this month, you're going to start to see a lot of separation. A lot of teams still jockeying back and forth. College of Charleston and Hofstra there trying to get up in the upper echelon of the league.
College of Charleston, the newcomer to the CAA this year. Also, the Elon Phoenix will join the conference next season. 61 apiece. You see the time on the clock. Final 4 minutes coming up for 2 teams that have each played in their fair share of close ones. We're going to step aside as they continue to work on the shot clock issue here at Matthews Arena. And we'll come back with the finish for Boston after this.
So, it seemed like they went into that 3-2. Delaware not having a lot of success with that. And if they do come to the man-to-man, Devin Sadler is your guy that has been able to get to the lane at will. And Northeastern has not been able to defend him well with a one-on-one.
This might be the time in the game where Delaware really misses its point guard, Jarvis Threet. Suspended for today's game, not with the team. We were told he did not meet team expectations, did not make the trip. So they've been playing without him on the road. And Usher had it blocked by Zach Stahl, who saved it in bounds.
You didn't realize there was a set play that Delaware was looking to play, to run, and players not knowing, and you come up with a bad shot. So you talked about that delay and how it affects the teams. You have to be able to focus on what the coach draws up.
Etherton and Baptiste have been battling one-on-one all day. That time Etherton gave it up to David Walker. Shot clock creeps under 10. Again, hard to see that shot clock for these Husky players. Walker noticed, but could not hit. We remain tied as Baptiste clears the rebound.
Both teams coming up with empty possessions. As you get to the end, wondering if free throws are going to play a factor. Delaware being a better free throw shooting team.
This is the freshman and Pinkard gives Delaware the lead. How about that? A guy that doesn't normally play at the end of games, Devon Pinkard, puts Delaware up 3.
Well, I think what you realize is that the entire defense focused on Sadler, leaving Pinkard wide open. Packard being the guy that just understands if I set my feet and wait for it. Sadler has been a willing pass over. Definitely want to pick up this win if you're Northeastern, because it's going to pay dividends down the stretch.
Northeastern brings in T.J. Williams, the freshman guard. Approaching 2.5 minutes to go, it's Walker. Walker, a pump fake for 2. Good luck, he just couldn't hit it, and Davon Usher has the rebound for the Blue Hens.
2:25 left to go, and if you're Delaware, you take some time, run a little clock, get a set. You've got the ball in your playmaker's hands. Devin Sadler's been a guy that can break down the defense. You spread those three-point shooters out, run a little clock, and let him to go for his, and we'll see how it plays out.
Sadler inside, and on his way to the foul line.
Well, like I said, Josh, Sadler's a guy that can get to the basket. You spread those guys out, let him go one-on-one, and you see him being able to go in and draw the foul. Love the fact that you allow your best player to be able to come up big, and Sadler's a guy that shoots the free throws at 76. I was about to talk about him being a great free throw shooter, coming in with that miss.
This one can make it a 2-possession game. That foul was on Demetrius Pollard, just his first. So Delaware leads by 4. 18 points for Sadler. Beg your pardon.
I think if you're Northeastern, you got to put the ball in Etherton's hands. This is your guy that's carried you. You got to give him a look.
This man Walker has missed some open jump shots in the closing minutes. Pollard. And right now it's all on the perimeter for Northeastern.
I wasn't a fan of that possession because I think that Pollard is a streaky shooter at best. To come off and get a contested 3 is not something that you want being down 4. You talk about a little over a minute and a half left to play. I think that you should have gone into Etherton and given him a chance to go.
That rebound by Carl Baptiste gave him a double-double, 19 and 10. Sadler with the shot clock running down to 5. Anderson for 3. Perhaps a dagger from the CAA's leading three-point shooter, Kyle Anderson. And a timeout by Coach Cohen. The lead is 7 for the Blue Hens.
Great play by Sadler being able to penetrate. And how about Anderson? Townsend at home, which I think was a big game, not knowing how long would Jarvis 3 be out. We haven't heard any news on how long that suspension is. Hopefully they'll have him back for what should be a really big game for them.
You mentioned it, 7 consecutive points by Delaware after the shot clock malfunction. Etherton, double teams. They need it from Walker, still not there. Baptiste again clears the rebound.
We talked about Baptiste and the night that he had, in the afternoon he's had offensively. I think that he's done a relatively good job of being able to defend Etherton. Said last time being able to get the help side, but I thought Baptiste has definitely been the guy that stepped up for them today.
It's going to be a 2-shot opportunity here. Nope, 1-1. Beg your pardon. That was the 9th team foul. He'll get the bonus. I think really in the final minutes of the game, the difference thus far, Brian, has been 3-point shots. Delaware has hit a couple. Got the freshman Pinkard, and the big one by Anderson. And on the other end, Northeastern's taking and missing 3-point shots.
Well, and a lot of that, too, is that Delaware came out at the beginning of the second half. I think that Davon Usher and that 11-point stretch that he had paid dividends. And I think that Sadler being a more of a willing passer has definitely helped get the other guys involved, too.
Walker to the basket, gets the bank shot to drop. Ends the 8-point run for Delaware, and Northeastern still with a chance, trailing by 6.
Well, obviously, I think they will
try a couple of seconds to get a steal. If not, then the immediate foul and put them to the line.
Yeah, you can't allow Delaware to run out the clock because it only leaves you less than 12 seconds to go as you see them extend.
And Delaware gets it in to its senior captain, Devon Sadler. He'll get the 2 free throws. Now it is the double bonus for the Blue Hens. Took a look at those 3-point field goals. 7 of them hit today for Delaware. 4 of them have come late in the contest.
When it's not by accident that Delaware is one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the conference, because they commit to shooting the 3. As you see Sadler come up with yet another miss in the front end of 1-and-1.
Yeah, it was a 1-and-1. Beg your pardon. Walker for 3. Hold the phone. Northeastern is back within 3. David Walker taking advantage of Devon Sadler's free throw miss. Bill Cohen calls the timeout with his team trailing by only 1 possession.
Well, amazing how a team will relax. You see Walker coming in and Sadler opting to pass underneath. Walker stopping, taking advantage of knocking down that 3. You always want to tell you the defender to force the guy off that 3. Walker coming up. 3-point
team fouls. So it would be a 1-and-1 again on a foul for the Blue Hens. David Walker closing fast and now up to 18 points. He's got all 5 here in the last minute for the Huskies.
And he has been that second guy that has stepped up for Northeastern, because normally the guy that has bearing the burden has always been Etherton. Walker stepping up big.
Devon Usher triggers it in. And Usher will get a 1-and-1. Anderson gave it back to the senior from Baltimore. A 72% free throw shooter on the season.
Well, we talked about the fact that this Delaware team leads the conference in free throw percentage. Like I say, for a guy that Usher that has not been to the line, just wondering if he's going to knock these down.
He did not. Missed the front end again. Boy, they missed consecutive front ends of 1-and-1s. Northeastern could tie with a 3. Walker. 25 seconds remaining. And this is Jimmy Marshall just into the game. Brings Northeastern within 1. Stall. 21 seconds left. Northeastern with a 1-point deficit.
The plan has paid off for Bill Cohen. I think that you allow again. You go for the steal. If Delaware gets the ball in, you immediately go for the foul.
A 7-0 run in the final minute of the game. They got it to Usher, and they call the reach-in foul.
We were talking earlier with 47 seconds left to go. Northeastern down by 6. What was the game plan? And so far, it has paid off. I think, if anything, if you're Monte Ross, you try to get into the ear of Davon Usher, tell him to take his time. This is a guy that shoots 72% from the free throw line. You don't want to be in a position where you don't focus. Delaware opting to pull all of their rebounders off the foul line.
Big one for Davon Usher, his 16th point of the game. Now this to make it a 3-point lead. Delaware only 2 of 4 at the foul line here in the final minute. But the lefty hits them both. Quick 3 or a 2 here?
I would like to go for a quick 2, but it seems like with the way the clock is ticking, Northeastern is going to go late.
Up to get it inside, and Stahl was rejected by Baptiste. And the senior, who's had a career game, perhaps seals the victory for the Blue Hens.
Baptiste coming with a big block. I thought Northeast a little undecided on what they were going to do. Too much clock running. See the penetration. Baptiste has been that guy that we talked about from the beginning to end, has been very aggressive. He set the tone for this Delaware team, coming out, taking it at Etherton on both ends. I like the fact that he was aggressive, played big at the beginning, coming with probably one of the biggest plays to seal this win.
That was his 4th block to go along with a career high in points with 18. 1 for 2 for Sadler. A 4-point deficit. Walker and a foul. The last thing that Coach Ross wanted was a foul there. That gives Northeastern certainly still a chance.
So with 1.4, instead of making this, I'm wondering if Bill Cohen tells his guys to miss this shot and crash the boards, because if you make it, it still puts you down 1. 1.4 is enough time to be able to catch the ball and get it back up.
So we're assuming he'll try to miss intentionally. He does, and he never hit the rim. And that gives Delaware the ball. Blue Hens still must inbound. They'll put the clock back to where it was at 1.4. That's something that you don't really practice much, is intentionally missing a free throw, and it looked like it there for David Walker.
Well, I think that he was trying to time it where he would give it a bounce. And like you said, not something that you work on in practice on how to intentionally miss a free throw.
Delaware must get it in. Usher and Sadler fouled in the backcourt. 2 shots again for Devon Sadler.
And Sadler, as great a scorer and free throw shooter as he normally is, has struggled as of late here. So obviously you tell your guys that, you still sit at 1.3. You have to get that rebound. I think Monte Ross asking the referees to check the clock to see if there's more time that should have come off.
You can see they will go to the monitor, and the teams get a chance to huddle up after that. It does seem a little bit impossible that only 1/10 of a second could come off on an inbounds play, catch and foul.
Are you trying to put out the conspiracy theory of the fact that there's the home cooking there?
Well, I'm just pointing it out. It'd be tough to happen. If I had to guess, I'd say we're somewhere around 1 second. The other thing they could be checking, Brian, too, is if the foul occurred before the ball ever came in, in which case no time would have come off the clock.
Well, you see the defender reach at Sadler before as he was running towards, so just wondering when was the foul actually whistled. I'm betting that they're probably going to say this. They're going to whistle the foul as he got towards the ball rather than prior.
Regardless, it's going to be very difficult for Northeastern here, because even if Sadler were to miss each of the shots, the Huskies out of timeouts, they wouldn't really have a chance to get the ball to the other end of the court. They did take a little bit more time off the clock, as we thought they might.
Stranger things have happened where you've seen desperation shots as Sadler knocks down 1 of 2. Obviously, if he makes this last one, that seals the game.
Or you could just miss it intentionally and make Northeastern throw a prayer. It's not what he did. He made it, seals it, 74-70. Pollard's 3 misses, and Delaware survives on the road. Big finish for the Blue Hens and a tight game at Northeastern. Delaware wins its 6th consecutive game. We'll have post-game coverage right after this.
From day one, our mission has been March. Those 4 days in Baltimore are the reason for every rep, every sprint, every shot.